When people first begin learning about evolution, they are often introduced to a world shaped by competition. Plants compete for sunlight, animals compete for territory, predators compete for prey, individuals compete for resources, mates, and opportunities to survive long enough to reproduce. Competition is real and remains an important part of evolution. Yet as scientists have studied ecosystems in greater detail, another pattern has emerged. Alongside competition exists something equally fundamental: connection. The deeper ecologists look, the more they discover that many of the most successful organisms on Earth are not isolated entities competing against everything around them. Instead, they exist within intricate networks of interaction. This realization became especially apparent while exploring some of Earth's oldest surviving lineages. At first glance, ancient organisms such as horsetails, ferns, mosses, and lichens appear to be simple survivors from a distant past. Yet many of them reveal something deeper. Their persistence is often tied not only to their own adaptations, but also to the ecological connections that surround them. Perhaps the most striking example is the lichen. A lichen appears simple enough. It may grow on a rock, a tree trunk, or a patch of Arctic ground. To most observers, it looks like a single organism. In reality, it is a partnership. Most lichens consist of a fungus living alongside an alga or a cyanobacterium. The fungal partner provides structure, protection, and moisture retention. The photosynthetic partner provides food through photosynthesis. Together, they form a system capable of surviving some of the harshest environments on Earth. The association is so integrated that lichens often function almost as if they were a single organism. Biologists refer to this type of close interaction as symbiosis, and in many lichens, it is specifically a form of mutualism in which both partners benefit. Long before forests spread across continents, organisms like these may already have been demonstrating that cooperation could be a successful evolutionary strategy. That realization encourages a broader question: how many other organisms depend on biological connections in ways we do not immediately recognize? One example comes from the paintbrush flowers of the genus Castileja. Unlike lichens, paintbrushes are not mutualistic partnerships. They are hemiparasites. They can photosynthesize and produce their own food, but they also connect to the roots of neighboring plants through specialized structures called haustoria. Through these connections, they obtain water and nutrients from nearby species. Unlike lichens, neighboring plants do not necessarily benefit from this arrangement. Yet the paintbrush's lifestyle is still built upon ecological connection, illustrating that survival often depends not only on the organism itself, but also on interactions with other living things. The more ecologists investigate natural systems, the more examples of these interactions appear. Consider the partnership between pistol shrimp and goby fish. The shrimp is an excellent engineer. It excavates and maintains a protective burrow. The goby possesses much better eyesight and serves as a lookout. The shrimp often maintains physical contact with the fish through one of its antennae while working. When danger approaches, the goby signals and both animals retreat to safety. Neither species performs the other's role particularly well. Together, however, they create a survival strategy that neither could achieve alone. Coral reefs offer another remarkable example. Corals live alongside microscopic algae known as zooxanthella. The coral provides shelter and access to sunlight. The algae provide energy through photosynthesis. Without this association, most tropical coral reefs would not exist. On land, forests rely upon similar interactions. Many trees form partnerships with mycorrhizal fungi. Trees provide sugars produced through photosynthesis. Fungi supply water and minerals collected from the soil. These exchanges help support entire forest ecosystems. Even mosses contribute to larger ecological networks. By retaining moisture and stabilizing surfaces, they create habitat for microorganisms and influence the environments around them. In northern ecosystems, these connections appear everywhere. Lichens support caribou. Trees partner with fungi. Pollinators and flowering plants depend upon one another. Paintbrushes connect themselves to neighboring roots. What initially appears to be a collection of separate species gradually reveals itself as a web of exchanges involving nutrients, water, energy, shelter, and opportunity. This perspective represents an important shift in how many scientists think about ecology. The older popular image of evolution often emphasized competition above all else. Survival was portrayed primarily as a contest in which the strongest organisms prevailed. Modern ecology paints a more nuanced picture. Competition remains real. Plants still compete for sunlight. Animals still compete for territory. Resources remain limited. Yet cooperation exists alongside competition at every level of life. One way to think about the distinction is this: competition often shapes individuals. Cooperation often builds systems. A single tree may compete with another tree. A forest, however, is something larger than any individual tree. A single coral animal cannot create a reef. A reef emerges from countless interactions. A lichen is more than its fungal partner. A society is more than any individual human. Languages, cities, scientific disciplines, cultures, and civilizations emerge from interactions among many individuals over time. No single person creates them alone. In this sense, nature offers a lesson worth considering. Not that competition is unimportant, not that every interaction is harmonious, and certainly not that humans should imitate any specific species. Rather, nature repeatedly demonstrates a pattern. Long-term success often emerges not from isolation, but from connection. Some of the oldest and most enduring lineages on Earth persisted not only because they were strong, efficient, or adaptable. They also succeeded because they became embedded within larger systems. The oldest forests depended on fungal partnerships. Lichens may have helped prepare the land for later plants. Pollinators and flowering plants transformed terrestrial ecosystems together. Even the humble paintbrush flower exists within a network of exchanges beneath the soil. The lesson extends beyond lichens, beyond ancient plants, and beyond any single ecosystem. Life is often less isolated than it appears. The deeper we look, the more we find that survival is not only a story of competition, but also a story of cooperation, dependence, and connection. In the end, some of the oldest survivors on Earth remind us that enduring success is often built not by standing alone, but by finding ways to exist together.